What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back again for another video, and today we're going to be looking at Chris Kreider, what his value is, what will the Rangers get in a trade for him, or will he stay put with the New York Rangers? There's been a lot of talk going on lately, and I think that's it's a lot of fun around this time. Of course, I believe the NHL trade deadline is February 24th, so we're going to get into some news and some articles, and we're going to look at his cap hit and maybe predict his next contract, all in this video. So the reason why I wanted to talk about this, of course, him being the best rental available this year at the NHL trade deadline. Rental is the key word here. Now, a lot of people are saying, okay, well, look at what the Rangers could get. You know, this guy's probably going to be close to 30 goals this year. He probably is going to hit it. He's got 17 right now. I believe he has like 32 points right now. We're going to look at his stats real quick. So, of course, he's 6'3", he's a big winger, 217, that's his weight. He's 28 years old, 48 games played, 32 points, 17 goals, 15 assists. So, last year, I believe he had 28 goals. Yes, he had 28 goals in 79 games played, so it's safe to say in those next couple games he could have easily hit 30. And it looks like this year he's going to be, again, like that 55, 60-point season. He's probably going to hit 30 goals, and he's a really good trade chip for the New York Rangers. And they're in this like retooling, rebuilding phase because they have some pieces that they can sell out. They're on the outside looking in right now in the playoff picture, but they're still a pretty good team. So a lot of people have been talking about the fact, well, what if the Rangers just keep him and try to re-sign him? Well, according to Pierre LeBrun, the Rangers are still not like losing out, you know, on the fact that they could still hold on to him. Now, his contract is probably going to be quite expensive because people are getting paid now. Like, people are getting big contracts, and right now his cap hit is $4.6 million. You can imagine that's going to go up to the $6-7 million range easily, the way that people are getting paid, especially if he goes to free agency. And hell, if the Rangers want to hold on to him, maybe they're like, okay, this team looks like they're going to be good in the next couple of years. Like, they could be good by next year. They'll have some money to do something. They've got Panarin, who's playing amazing. Their blue line is really good. Their goaltending situation is pretty good. One of those guys could get traded for a piece that can help their forward group. So they might think, okay, let's overpay Kreider a little bit to hold on to him. Well, who knows? But, I mean, he might not want to stay long-term. I don't know. I would feel like Kreider would want to be a part of this solution because the Rangers look like they're going to be pretty good in the next couple of years. But he said that there's at least 8 teams looking at the guy that's topping their trade bait list right now. And, of course, again, it's like he definitely deserves to be at the top there because he is the best rental right now. So they're saying that the asking price could be similar to what the Rangers got for Kevin Hayes, and that was Brendan Lemieux and a first-round pick from the Jets. So, again, Brendan Lemieux, prospect, and then a first-round pick from the Jets. That first-rounder is what the talk has been right now, because there was an interesting article that Sportsnet put out, and they were looking at different years of what teams are giving up at the trade deadline, you know, what they're willing to give up for a guy that's just going to be a rental. And, you know, some people believe that this NHL's trade deadline could be a little bit of a dud. There might not be a ton of movement because teams are a little bit scared to make that big move. They might be a little bit worried because they're on, you know, the edge of maybe making it into the playoffs. They don't want to spend too much. Teams are looking to build from their farm system now and in free agency rather than just giving up a bunch of picks and stuff like that for a rental. They'd rather have guys that they could trade at the trade deadline for that might be able to either have some years already on their contract, or when they make the trade, they sign the guy on to a long-term contract. Now, again, these options are very possible for Kreider, but in 2018, 6 first-rounders were traded during trade season, but only 2 were for rental players, and that was Paul Stastny for the Jets, who worked out pretty well for that run, and then the Bruins with Rick Nash, and of course we know what happened with Rick Nash. But, you know, a lot of teams could go the route of getting a Toffoli or a Pajot, and they might not give up as much, and again, it just makes more sense for them to hold on to that first-round pick and hope that they can get a steal in that first round, hope that they can get a good prospect. But there's some teams that might just be going for it this year that think, okay, we want Kreider for just this run. If he doesn't stick around with us, or if we know we just don't have the money to keep him around, then okay, let's at least go for this run. But I would imagine there will be some teams that look at this Kreider deal and think, okay, let's try to get him on and sign him to a long-term contract, because then you have Kreider for this year, you have him for a couple more years for your window for that run, and then you risk his play dropping off in the next 3 or 4 years, but you at least went for it in these first couple years. So there's a lot to think about. I personally think that if the bidding goes up, like if there's teams that are bidding against each other, Kreider will fetch a first-round pick, but it's what else is attached to him as well. I think the Rangers would love to have a first-round pick plus a guy that, you know, is a prospect that could potentially make the jump to their team in the next couple years. But who knows? It could be a mix of a good prospect plus a second and a third, or like a couple good prospects and a second and then a fourth. And like, I just don't know what teams are thinking right now. And again, a lot of insiders are saying, like the LeBruns, McKenzies, and Johnston, Freeman, it's like, unless the bidding goes up, there's not like that guarantee that the Rangers are going to get what they're asking for, because again, teams are a little bit afraid to make that jump. They're afraid to make that move to acquire a guy. I personally think that it would make sense for a team that's really gunning for it. If you're right there, like if you're like, let's say Boston, which I'm a Leaf fan, so it would suck to see them get another really talented player, but Boston giving up a first for Kreider makes a ton of sense. He fits right into their team because he can score and he's a big body. He can bring that physical play that they already have, and it would just add to their amazing lineup. Sorry if there's noise in the background. My heater just turned on and it's freezing down here, but there is those options. So we'll have to see. I think it does make a ton of sense for this deal to happen before the trade deadline. I don't think that the Rangers want to hold on to him and risk him just going to free agency. So we'll have to see what happens. Let me know down below. This is up to you. What are the Rangers going to get for Chris Kreider? And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new. I'd really appreciate it. Join the squad. Let's get to 7,000 subscribers. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video or stream. Peace.